Is my 25F boyfriend, 25M, planning to cheat on me? Birth control issues. So I've had my tubes tied so I can't have any more kids. I have 3 kids already, and if I have more pregnancies, it could be bad for my mental health. Anyway,
My boyfriend has said that he won't get a vasectomy because he may want more kids later.
is he basically saying he'll cheat on me or break up with me at some point? Or am I overthinking what he said? I feel like what he said is him just saying, I'll have more kids, just not with you. I know I've had my tubes tied, but still.
How should I bring up this situation to him?
I want to clear the air, but I want to do it with an open mind. Any advice is appreciated. 1. Are all of your 3 kids also his kids? 2. How long have you been together? 3. If your tubes are tied, why do you want? Are you even discussing the possibility of him getting a vasectomy? Overthinking. No, it must seem odd to get this response. My thoughts on it. You are both 25. You had your tubes tied.
Yes, if your relationship falls apart, or you pass away, it could occur. He may want the option to have kids with another partner.
Yes. Planning to cheat, from my view, nope. Is it possible he doesn't understand what it means to have your tubes tied?
Doesn't realize it's permanent? Maybe he thinks IVF would work?
IDK. If none of that is the case, that's a really fucking weird thing for him to say. He meant what he said. You're a temporary partner. Are the 3 children you have his? Guys tend to get weirded out about vasectomies. Not an excuse, just a fact.
Why do you want him to get one? These are often me or you disagreements, but in your case you're already done.
I wouldn't say he's planning to cheat. But he is keeping opportunities for his own future open.
You did what was right for your mental health, he's doing what is right for him. And from an outsider's view, he wants to have kids knowing that you will not be the other parent. Have a talk with him, be open about your feelings and be receptive to his.
All parties involved deserve to know what's going on. From my perspective, you aren't compatible long term.
I, 27F, am considering divorcing my husband, 27M, due to major differences. Are we screwed? My 27F husband, 27M, and I are in a really tough position in our marriage, and I'd love some thoughts about what you would do.
Note, we are both on anxiety, depression meds and go to couples therapy. We have been married for 7 years. It took us several years to build good communication between one another. I waited 5 years to have a baby with him, when 1. We both wanted a baby and 2. When we felt like our relationship was in a good place. Since having our son, now 18 months old, our relationship has become rocky. I also started medical school in August, which has added stress. Some things I've noticed since having a kid.
He doesn't do well with sleep deprivation.
At all. He gets very easily frustrated and takes out his frustration in aggressive ways.
Tensing up his arms when holding the baby during a sleepless night, screaming at the top of his lungs whenever I interrupt him, throwing things during arguments. This is all very triggering for me and makes me feel unsafe, and in general, I find that the negativity really weighs me down.
I can't exactly just take over the stressful home responsibilities, since I'm the one outside of the home.
We have our son in daycare full-time to allow my husband more time to complete online schoolwork and housework, but he isn't consistent in getting things done.
I am usually the one who ends up doing the housework when I come home and on weekends.
He doesn't do housework. He acknowledges that in his family growing up, men were never expected to do housework.
Now that he's married me, I expect it. I am accused of nagging, mothering him anytime I ask him to do household tasks. As a result, things don't get done around the house. Dishes sit in the sink for 3 weeks, bottles sit in the baby's room molding, clean and dirty laundry is in piles all over the house. Trash sits scattered around the house because he has a plan to take care of it. He gets upset whenever I override this plan, simply because the trash is an eyesore. When I call my mom to come help me clean the house, he gets stressed out.
He also doesn't like my mother and makes sure everyone knows it. We got a dog a few weeks back, since he does school part-time online from home and son is in daycare.
Though he had hesitations, he agreed. Now is going back and saying that he didn't really want the dog in the first place. He feels that he is mentally stretched thin right now between baby, puppy, housework, and school, understandable.
He expresses specific frustration with the things that I add on to our plate, saying that he's tired of trying to rein in your tendency to do too much. He says that my hobbies take time away from the baby and the dog,
i.e. watering the garden and houseplants, and browsing thrift stores once every week or two. He wants to now find new hobbies that we both enjoy so we can spend time with each other and spend less money. I agree with finding things we enjoy together, but stopping my hobbies because he thinks they take too much time away? In a discussion in therapy today, I brought up divorce, not that I necessarily want a divorce, but discussed that it might be a solution. We're currently working through things, but what are your thoughts on the situation? I'm so used to this but also just so tired of it that I'd love an outside perspective. What do I even say to him? TLDR. I'm not happy with my marriage and don't know how to address my husband's responses to my concerns, as I feel like I've tried everything I can think of. Would it be easier to split? I'm gonna be honest, this entire thing is a shit show. IDK, why you got a puppy when he already had negative reactions towards the baby? You need to rehome the puppy ASAP and get your ducks in a row if he doesn't change. Both of you sound like your default setting is stuck on poor choices. You're trying to go to med school, one of the most taxing, stressful, rigorous programs. You have a baby, and then you go add a puppy to the mix. Please find a good home for the dog, because neither of you can handle the added work. You can't even cope with the basics. Dishes in the sink for 3 weeks and mold in the baby's bottle? What's wrong with y'all? That sounds like child neglect. The pair of you need to get it together before someone calls social services on you. Tons of marital issues, sleep deprivation, a filthy house, both are unemployed students, but got a dog. Makes sense. Damn girl, get things off both your plates. I would be losing my shit too. Screaming and throwing things is a him problem, not a couple's problem. He needs individual therapy. I don't know why you thought it was okay to add an animal to this situation, but that was a bad call. If he doesn't have time to care for your own child, you all certainly don't need an animal. Please rehome it. The two of you don't sound like you are compatible, nor do you fully discuss decisions together. Was he ever on board with baby immediately followed by medical school? Other than having a child and dog together, why are you with him? He sounds miserable and seems to not care about creating misery in the home.